Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a first impressions on the Maybelline Dream Velvet Soft Matte Hydrating Foundation. This is a new foundation out for Maybelline and I wanted to try it just because it was matte and it's a new foundation, and I'm really keen to try it. As you can see, I've got no makeup on. You see I've got quite spotty skin. And I've got quite a red nose, which I don't know why. I've got a red patch here, but I wanted to give this a try and first impressions on video, just so you can see what I think of the product before and after I put it on, and then a couple of hours later. It's currently nearly 10 o'clock, so I'll put this on now. What they say is our first gel whipped foundation, a fresh new flawless Dream Velvet whips a fresh gel into a velvet soft texture. Complexion looks perfect and smooth with a soft matte finish just like velvet. Skin feels fresh and stays hydrated all day. What I find quite good is that they don't have an how long staying power they have. For example, the L'Oreal Infallible Matte, they have a 24-hour apparently staying power, but this doesn't have a staying power on there, so that's quite intriguing. I'm in number 1 natural, and if you're able to see it or not, there we go. Apparently there's about 6 shades within this collection for the UK people. I know there are about 12 shades in the US, so they have a lot more shades than what we do, but I went for number 1 natural as you can see I'm quite pale, and hopefully this will work out for me. I have already primed my face with the L'Oreal Infallible Mattifying Base. Put that all over my face, and I'm going to use this and my Real Techniques foundation brush, which has been fresh and cleaned. Probably doesn't look that clean on camera, but I'm sure it is clean. So I'm going to take this, put it on my hand. I'm going to remove the protector thing over it first. Okay, now that I've removed the plastic thing, I'm going to put it on my hand. To see it. It's very thick, and that looks quite dark on me, as you can see. I don't know if that will actually work, and it looks way too dark for me. As you can see, it's way too dark, but hey, let's give it a try. This is the lightest shade they have, so I'm going to use my foundation brush. It definitely feels very whipped and velvety when I take it onto the brush. Let's get started. That looks way too dark. I don't know if you actually able to see it, but already it looks quite yellow in tone. I probably will put way too much on, but I'm gonna try and blend this out pretty well. That does look quite dark for me. So this will probably be, for me, a summer foundation rather than a winter one. Because obviously I get more tanned in the summertime, and I am the lightest I can be in the winter. So that's okay. It's actually hidden quite a lot of red, but it's very yellowy and a little bit darker for me, which is not too good. I'm going to apply it on the other side. Yes, this looks way too yellowy and a little bit too dark for me, which is a shame because I really wanted to like this foundation. So that's the application done. As you can see by my hand, I don't know if you're able to see it or not, that's how dark that foundation is, and considering that I'm a really pale person, it's not so great considering that is the lightest shade they actually do. That's not great. So Yes. Okay, so let's have a little bit of a look on my face. So it's picked up on my dry areas here, but it's covered quite well. Feels a little bit tacky, but it's not too bad. Doesn't actually come off of my hands either, which is good. Yeah, nothing on my hands, I've just been over it. It covers okay. I wouldn't say it's the best coverer. I can still see my blemishes through it. You can see my blemishes still through it, so it's not a full coverage foundation. Maybe, I think maybe a medium foundation. I think you've had good clear skin, then this will look amazing on you, but because I've got blemishes, hasn't really hid them that well. But it's definitely matte. Like, it looks like I've powdered already, yet I really haven't powdered. Yeah, it looks really matte. There's no shine coming off this. And yes, it was really nice to apply. Like, it felt really velvety, which was nice. I don't know how long staying power would be, since it's nothing to say how long it would stay on my face for. But yes, that's me applying it. I'm not keen on the shade range, but I'll put on my other makeup now. Okay, so I'm back from putting on my makeup. I look a lot better than what I did, and I now looking at it, it's not too bad now that I've got my other makeup on. Slightly too dark. I think maybe a shade lighter would be nice, but I think in the summertime this would be perfect for me, because obviously this is the lightest shade that I am at the moment, which is the 10 Porcelain in the L'Oreal Infallible 24 Hour Matte, and this is obviously the lightest one, but I'm hoping they actually do a darker, a lighter one than this. But it definitely, when I'm putting on my other makeup on, it didn't really budge or anything, and it helped. Well, my concealer went on well. And no problems with my concealer or my powder or my blusher. It all looks quite nice. Definitely it looks like I've powdered twice for some reason. I think because this, as I said before, it looks like I've already powdered, and obviously because I've got oily skin, I need to powder again. I usually like to just powder my foundation anyway, and it looks like definitely powdered. You can definitely see that sort of cakey look, and it looks okay actually. It's definitely, I can see my, I call it the peach fuzz, you definitely see that there, but it's not too bad for me. It hasn't really clogged around my nose yet or anything, and what I would say is if you have dry skin, then this might not be for you, because it just clings to my little dry patches I have on my face. It's not too bad actually, it's quite good looking. Just a little bit too orange and too dark for me, I would say, for this time of year. But yes, sorry. I will try this out for the rest of today, even though it looks a little bit tiny too dark for me, but it's fine. I'll put up with it just for this. What I'm going to do is I'll update you throughout the day of how it's looking, and then I'll give my final sort of verdict and review at the end of the day. So I'll see you guys later. I am back and it's now 1:49, and it's been quite a few hours since I've last spoken to you, and I've done quite a few things. I am currently in my house. As you can see, that's the background that I use for most of my videos here at the moment. But yes, I've had this foundation on for quite a long time now, since actually it's only been about 3 hours. I thought it was a lot longer than that, but no, it's only about 3 or 4 hours. So at the moment it's doing quite well. My forehead is getting a little bit shiny. Colour is still very dark. I can see it a lot more in this light with the huge mirror that I found. I don't know if you'll be able to see, but it's sort of collected around my nose a tiny bit, and when I laugh it goes into my lines as well here, which isn't that good. And yes, it's not too bad actually. I can definitely tell it's definitely the wrong colour for me, but it's definitely the wrong colour. It's doing quite well at the moment, apart from the few things that I've said. It's actually going quite well. Actually, another point is that my chin, where I have my blemishes here, it's got a little bit dry and it's sort of hung on to the dry bits, which makes my blemishes a little bit worse. But it's nothing too bad at the moment. Yes, God, you couldn't see me then. But I will check back with you later on. Okay, so I am back for the last time. It is now gone 5:30, so that's a good few hours trying the foundation out. If I can actually find it, there we go. I'll be trying out the Maybelline Dream Velvet Soft Matte Foundation. This is the newest product out, and I've been trying it all day, and I'm giving you updates throughout the day. So this is the final update that I'm going to give you, and I have to say it's stayed in place pretty well. It's still covered quite well, as you can see. Sort of collected around my nose here, and it's gone a little bit off my nose. As you can see here, it's gone off my nose a tiny bit. Sort of collected around my chin, which is a little bit dry. I would give this foundation probably a 6 out of 10, just because it applies nicely, it covers quite well, it looks quite nice on my skin, and it does actually last for quite a long time. I wouldn't give it a 10 out of 10 just because the shade as well. The shade is meant to be the lightest one, and I am light. As you can see, I'm very light. That's my first impressions on the Maybelline Dream Velvet Soft Matte Hydrating Foundation. If you want to know any more questions about this foundation, just please leave below. Please comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye!